Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of the Learning Python series. Today's going to be possibly a little bit shorter of a video because we're going to be going over lists. So I want this episode 3, to be focused on just being introduced to lists, and then next episode to be on learning the functions associated with the list. Today we'll just go over the basics because it can be pretty complex, and so I want to give you guys some more time to digest it. So getting right into it, we're going to talk about what a list is. Basically, a list is exactly what it sounds like. It is a tool that can store a list of information within Python. So when programming in Python, you're often going to have to work with large sets of data. And obviously, you don't want to have to create a variable for each individual piece of data. So what you can do is you can use a list, and a list can store all kinds of data. It can store basically everything in Python, floats, integers, strings, everything. So in order to make a list, you can just name it like a normal variable. So we'll just call it new list. And to tell Python that it is a list, you're just going to put these square brackets here. And so anything within here is going to be part of the list. So we're going to make a list of animals. So we can go in here, and they're going to be strings. And we're going to do dog. We'll do cat. We'll do elephant. We can do turtle. Let's do giraffe. And then finally, we'll put fish. So we have a list of some animals here. And so as you can see, these are just strings, but lists are not limited to strings. You can also include numbers. So I can include a 1 here. I could include floats that we learned in last episode, so 1.4. I could even include booleans, which are like true and false. So I can include true and false here. I'm not going to do that for learning's sake. We'll just keep it strings to keep it simple, but you can do that. In order to print a list, it's just as simple as doing print new list, and then if we run that, we can see it will print dog, cat, elephant, turtle. It'll print the entire list. If you want to print only one element in a list, you're gonna have to index. Throwback to episode 2 when we were working with strings, it's very similar to a string. So if you imagine this entire list, and work with me here, if you imagine this entire list as just being like one word, for example, a word with 6 letters, but instead we have 6 elements. It's just like that. So we start at 0, so dog is at the 0 index position, and then cat is 1, elephant 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just like when you're indexing in strings, substringing. It's the same with lists. So dog is at position 0, then it goes 1, 2. It's just like that. So if I wanted to print dog, I could type the same box brackets we used for making the list. Then I could just type the index of dog. So if I run this, it'll print dog. And if I wanted to print giraffe, we can see it's element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which really means it's 4 because we started 0. So if I type 4, it'll type giraffe. So it's pretty simple to grab them like that. Another thing is you can go backwards in a list, which this is where it gets maybe a little more tricky. Like I said, dog is at position 0, cat is at position 1, so on. If you go backwards, so -1 position, we jump all the way back to the top of the list. So if cat is 1, cat goes 1, 0, -1, we're at fish, -2 is giraffe, -3 is turtle. So turtle is both 3 and -3 at the same time. If I wanted to print it. So if I were to print -3 right here, it would print turtle because we went back 1 fish, 2 giraffe, 3 turtle. So that's another way you can move throughout a list. So pretend I wanted to print multiple items in a list, like cat, elephant, turtle. Instead of like altering the list in any way or doing anything like that, you can just put cat we see is at position 1, and then this colon will tell it to go to a number, but up to the number, not including that number. So if I wanted to print cat through turtle, then I'd have to tell it to go to giraffe, because it does not include giraffe. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 through 4. So if I tell it print elements 1 through 4, what I'm really saying is print elements 1, 2, and 3, because it will stop before what you tell it to go to. So if I run this, there we go, elements 1, 2, and 3, cat, elephant, turtle. So yeah, you can also move through a list by grabbing a row of elements at a time, keeping in mind that this second number you put here is not going to be included. It's where you're going to stop before. And then finally in this video, we're going to talk about modifying an element. So pretend I wanted to change what elephant was, for example. And I wanted to change elephant to bird. Then all I have to do is go new list, and then I'd have to say which one I'm talking about, which in this case is going to be 2, because it goes 0, 1, 2. And then I can just set it equal to what I want to change it to. So in this case, I wanted to make it bird. So there we go. So now if I print new list, we'll see that it doesn't say elephant anymore. It's been changed to bird. So this is just a quick overview of lists. There's a lot more functions that go into it, and there's a lot more you need to know in order to work with these and use them to their fullest potential. But for now, play around with this and just get used to working with it. Next episode, we'll go into some more complex functions. I hope you enjoyed.